another one to his tally marks, I guess. This would be where you cross the line of the tally marks to make a 5.
Ew.
In a recent development in the Long Island Gilgo Beach serial killer case, 59-year-old Rex Heuermann is expected to be indicted on a 5th murder charge on Thursday, according to multiple news reports. Heuermann was previously charged with the murders of Melissa Barthelemy, Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, and Maureen Brainard-Barnes, whose remains were found at Gilgo Beach in December of 2010. Although the identity of the 5th alleged victim has not been released, the case highlights the ongoing investigation into the other 6 set of remains discovered near Gilgo Beach in 2011. Suffolk County District Attorney Rex Tierney previously stated that authorities are still looking into those cases. As part of the investigation, law enforcement personnel searched the house shared by Heuermann and his wife, Asa Ellerup. During the 6-day search, authorities focused primarily on the basement and various items are reportedly taken from the property. This is the second search of the property. Ellerup's attorney, Bob Mendocino, mentioned that while items were removed from the house, he couldn't discuss the specifics at this time. Heuermann's family claims that investigators ransacked their home, causing considerable damage to their property. Well, again, Asa, you're harboring a serial killer for all those years. That's kind of what happens. The Gilgo Beach serial killer case has left Ellerup's family in turmoil with the ongoing investigation and the shocking allegations against her husband. District Attorney Tierney's dedication to the case demonstrates the commitment to bringing closure to the families of the victims and addressing the complex questions surrounding the unidentified remains. And I'm glad that they have somebody good on this still that is keeping this thing going, because there's going to be, I think, a hell of a lot more than just 5.
Oh, God. I don't even want to think about how many there are, but there are so many missing women in this area that, and for them to have gone back into his house looking for more stuff.
Yeah.
They know something else is brewing under the surface here, don't they?
I'm wondering if they have gotten a hold of the Asa Ellerup documentary tapes as they're happening. Like, if there's something in the back there where, as this goes on, they're able to review all the raw footage. And I'm wondering if something Asa has said has led to some directions and such. And I'm not stating that she would be involved in it. I'm just stating maybe just some odds and ends of life of, with this date we were here, or this or that. And that kind of pointed in the direction of, where Rex might have been or what he might have been up to.
Ew, God. So gross.
Yeah. I mean, I would, if you're the producer of that, I would be doing that. I'd have some law enforcement contact where, it's just in the fine print of the agreement that, if the investigators want to see this footage, we'll let them see the footage or whatever. And you just silently let them have it. And then, because that's going to lead to a more interesting documentary, especially if they bust her, if there's something there, or if they solve more crimes based on the things that she says. That would also be another positive end to this horrible nightmare. But that's what you want. You're wanting the jinx moment on this, where, oh my gosh, something comes out that really, really clarifies this case in some way, shape, or form.
I have a feeling there's a lot we don't know right now. They are sitting on a ton of evidence from this guy. The stuff that they dragged out of his house, it's sitting in some containment locker, that's locked up. And it's probably the most disgusting stash of things you'll ever see. Have we even heard anything about a trial date? Anything of that nature? No,
nothing yet, because this just keeps, the investigation is still very much ongoing. I would guess, they're basically having to match trophies. This is just my guess. We don't know what he took, but I'm going to guess there's trophies down there, little things he's kept from the victims. And they're trying to match DNA from these items to victims. Yeah. And if there's item A from victim in Rex Heuermann's basement, and it has DNA from a victim that was found on the beach, then we got some issues there. And I'm wondering how many separate DNA samples they're going through, and realizing just how many trophies are down there associated with other human beings. That's all my speculation, but I don't know. I'm usually right.
Yeah, sadly, your accuracy rate is pretty high. Yeah, we're going to find out a lot about this guy, and it's just going to make you want to lock your doors, man. There's so much wrong with this case. We've talked about it in reference to other cases, that they didn't really track him because these were sex workers that were missing and people didn't care about them. They weren't treated as individuals, but they had families, they had lives, they ended up in the sex trade for whatever reason they did. I mean, it can be lucrative. I get it. If people have nowhere else to turn, the job market sucks. Maybe they don't have any marketable skills. It could be a quick way to make some money. I can see it happening.
Or you're trafficking into it at a young age as well. I mean, there's so many horrible ways that people get into it. And at that and the former officer in town, the sheriff or whatever he was, he was very much a part of that scene, like participating in it and being a patron of it. And also not really investigating any areas of it in that area for that whole time he was participating. There's even one witness who's testified to an attorney stating that that she had seen him, the former officer, with Rex Heuermann at a party.
Ugh.
So now the accuracy of that is kind of up in the air, but we've been kind of speculating on that for quite some time. It's a big area. There's a lot of people there, but I can't imagine. I mean, the circle of that is that big. I mean, there's probably a lot of people in it, but enough where it's like not trying to make a weird pun here, bump elbows with the same people every now and then. Oh, that sounds horrible. Yeah. So
I need a trial date for this guy. Don't you? That's how I feel.
Well, I think we just need to keep identifying bodies first, actually. And then trial date. But let's see how big this goes. Let's see how bad this goes. Let's see how many state lines are crossed with this guy either, because then you get into federal charges. And then you can get into federal death penalty territory as well. So if he did it, I hope they just keep identifying and this number eventually settles. But I hope for the sake of these families that they don't just stop at some point and go, well, I think we got enough to prosecute, because you already do have enough to prosecute. But if you want to do good by all these people and the right thing, let's just keep them locked up indefinitely, really. I mean, we got the child porn charges and all that stuff. We can keep him there for quite some time, and he's suspected of being this murderer. So he can stay there for quite a while. But
I'm fine with that. I really don't want to have to watch a trial with him sitting there. I don't want to see that horrible face. He looks just frightening as fuck.
Although this is a case, too, where he looks to be so unhealthy, if you will, to a certain extent. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being judgmental because he's a rather large oaf of an individual. But I don't know, at that age, that sort of build, that sort of obesity and such, like that's ready for a heart attack right there, too. So I just hope he lives to see the charges and he lives to face justice for the crimes that he allegedly has committed.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.